Good morning, good morning. It's Pause with Elizabeth Eleanor this morning, and it's cold. It's really cold here. I've got a skivvy on because it's freezing here. And it's a public holiday here in New South Wales and Australia. I'm not sure if it's a public holiday in every state, but it is here. And my beautiful man is down in the freezing cold snow going fishing. What are you doing today on your day off, if it's a day off for you? And I've got a question for you. Are you in business? Are you a business coach? Are you, do you sell a service or a product? Do you have a side hustle? Are you in a network marketing company? What sort of business are you in? And are you aligned to your success in that business? Are you aligned to the energetics of that business? I want to talk to you, do a bit of a deep dive about the energetics of business, because we can get caught up, just like with everything else, in the old patterns, excuse me, the old patterns of behavior. We can get caught up in, am I doing it right? Why isn't this working? My parents had a business and it failed. I want to make just as much money as my siblings to prove my worth. That was a big one for me, actually. Prove my worth in the family, right? Was a big one when I recognized that my glass ceiling was because I had an unconscious pattern that I wanted to make just as much money as my brothers. And I didn't even know how much they made, but I still had this glass ceiling that, and when I actually found out how much they made, I'm like, oh, no wonder I can't get past where I'm at, right? What's going on for you in business? Do you feel worthy? Do you feel like you're a leader? Do you feel like you can, are you getting caught up with what's going on out there in society? That there's too many people talking about the interest rates. There's, all of these things that go on, right? You've got this one lane where people are talking about interest rates, and then you go out to the markets and people are still buying, right? People are still buying crap. So it's really interesting, right? People are still living their lives, but then they have excuses of why they don't want to do self-improvement because of this or this or this, right? And if that's what the business is that you're in, right? Because I know that I've heard a lot of coaches going on about how their business is going down because of interest rates, and that's a lie. It's a lie that we tell ourselves. It's a belief that we tell ourselves because we get caught up in the energetics of the collective consciousness of what's going on in the planet, what we're being programmed to believe and to understand, right? And our limitations to hold us back, hold us in fear, hold us in the chaos, right? And so I just wanted to talk to you about the energetics, because our business is actually an entity of its own. As soon as you create an intention of something, it becomes energetically alive, right? Because you've now created, a label, you've created a definition of that thing. And so you've actually birthed something. You've birthed this energetic field, this energetic entity. And so if you're not in alignment with that, and you've got, you're over here carrying on about all of those things that are limiting you, then you're not in the field that your energy of your business is choosing to create. when you first created that business, there was a spark, right? I bet there was a spark. There was a excitement. Oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. This will be fun. This will serve people. This will, you know, fulfill the needs of myself and my family, and whatever it was that came up for you when you got into that exciting energy of, I want to choose to do this. And then as you're saying that, all of these other things, all of these old patterns of behavior come in, all of these limitations, all of these assessments of who you are and who you've been and who your family are and what's going on in society and the beliefs of others and the world and blah, 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 blah. We even go into, you know, old patterns of behavior from past lives and things like that, without even realizing we're doing it, right? So I want to share some of the things that I have experienced over my 25 years now of being in business. And, you know, being in business as a massage therapist actually was quite easy for me. I was good at what I did. I improved as I went along. I refined things, and, you know, it was part of my spiritual growth as well, because as I became more aware and attuned to energy, the more I was able to give and receive and support the person on the table energetically as well. And so being in business for massaging, it just came naturally, and I found, you know, without trying very hard, and I don't think it took me long before I stopped advertising, I would just get 6 to 7 people a day, which is really big for a massage therapist, but that's what I did. I used to energetically get you know, a lot more vitality as I went along. I didn't, because I was connected into my higher self. So that was really easy. And then I moved into Young Living essential oils, and which I still do today, which is a network marketing company, right? And that was a whole different ball game. All of a sudden, well, first of all, just like anything else, I was super excited because I got all these amazing energetic shifts. I got some physical things that happened to me. I got results from these oils like no other. They're a really high vibration. They're very pure and clean. They're the cleanest, purest essential oils that I've ever come across. And that includes from other companies that have broken off from Young Living. But they're just the purest oils that I've ever come across. And so it was really easy to support myself and others by sharing that knowledge, just being transparent, being my honest self, living in my truth, and just sharing. But then you get to a point where things start becoming, it's a business, and I need to be supporting other people that want to share as well. And, you know, I've got this opportunity for going on holidays to, you know, like there was promotions and all that sort of stuff. And I watched my energetic alignment to that. And I watched when I got caught up in the rah-rah and the story and the, you know, the alignment of these, this is the only way, right? And I got caught up in it. Right? And I remember the very first time I had the opportunity to go on a holiday. I was going to win a promotion, and I had one more person left. It was the very first time, and you've got to remember, myself and my kids slept on a quilt on the floor at one stage when they were little until I could afford a bed. So, you know, at this stage I was doing well, but I still hadn't gone on holidays, hadn't gone overseas. I'd gone overseas once, I think, and it was super exciting, right? And I had someone on my massage table that I knew the oils would work really, really well for this woman. And as I was thinking that, the thought of going over to Bali came into my head, and that I had one person left. But I watched the energy of that thought, right? I watched this energy of taking and greed rather than coming from service. I watched the energy of wanting something myself instead of coming from an energetic feeling of helping and supporting somebody else. And when I found that, it was an experience that I went, yep, I'm not going to share, because if I'm going to come from that space, if I'm going to come from a place of wanting it myself, then I'm not going to be sharing with this woman, because I'm not coming from the right vibration. Funnily enough, when that happened, because I'd been using the oils on this woman, when that happened and I chose to not share, she got off the table, and actually, as I said that, 11:11 happened. It was very interesting. She got off the table and started asking me about the oils, and I was really resistant, because I'd had this thing and that I'd chosen not to share, right? But she kept on insisting and insisting, and finally I actually shared with her, and I said, you know, you got to feel into this to feel if it's right or not. She ended up getting the oils, which was really interesting, and I ended up being able to go to Bali on my first trip. And so the energetics of where you're coming from make a huge difference in your business. So another energetic experience that I have watched myself have to break out of and move out of, and this is a really interesting one. The energetic wanting to serve everyone and wanting to support everyone by listening to people in their pain points, as they say in business, and getting caught up in their story and still wanting to serve them. So lowering what I have to offer, my worth, my value, my service, so that I can support someone, right? It's a very interesting dynamic, because when you're in that space, you think, energetically, you think that you're coming from an open heart, you're coming from a place of serving, you're coming from being, charitable, all of these things. And so you feel good about yourself because you have just supported someone at the level that they're able to invest, whatever it might be, right? And I watched myself do this over and over and over again, because I knew what I had, or what I have with recoding, for example, is absolutely powerful and makes huge changes in people's lives. Like straight away, women start getting massive results straight away. For example, one of the women that came into my course near the very start came in because she wanted to start a business. Didn't tell me that she'd been trying to fall pregnant for 10 years. Within a week of being in the vibration, within the recodes, doing the recodes on replay, she fell pregnant, and she's now got a little baby. The little girl must be, I don't know, maybe about a year old now. One example. People doing, like one of the women that was just in my 3-month Calling in the One course, apparently been wanting to move house for years, getting stuck in this pattern of behavior. Excuses why she couldn't move back to the beach where she absolutely loved. Within a couple of recodes, I think it was 3 or 4 recodes, She realized what was going on, packed up shop over Easter, hadn't had a rental history for years and years and years. Over Easter, not only sold her house for a really good price, but also found a rental so she can, there's a road between her and the beach. So she now lives at the beach, she's moved already, and she sold her house over Easter. Powerful stuff. And yet I was undervaluing it. Well, actually, in my mind, I wasn't undervaluing it. I was trying to help everyone. And what I recognized, because it took me a while, right? It took me a while to recognize that what was happening, because my business started to decrease. The energy in my business started decreasing. The people that were engaging started decreasing. The people that were coming in on sales calls started decreasing. People that did come up on sales calls all were saying they didn't have enough money or that they couldn't afford it, right? And what was happening was I had lowered my vibration, I had lowered my frequency to support everyone in the same frequency of lack. And so it's really interesting dynamic, because you think that you're coming from your heart. You think that you're coming from serving. But actually what you're doing is you're actually energetically, you're hooking into somebody else's dysfunction, into their victimhood, into their powerlessness, instead of rising above, holding the space for them and showing them where they can actually come and meet you. When you can hold that space for somebody to rise up to your vibration, to the business's vibration, to the value of what you've got to offer, it makes a huge difference. And I've got to tell you, it's a massive shift energetically, personally, and within alignment with your business. Because personally, it feels a bit rough to start with, right? It feels challenging because you think that you're going out of alignment with your heart center, right? In fact, it's a really fine vibration, because if you haven't done the foundational work, if you haven't really looked at your own limitations, your own sabotage beliefs, your own limit, the vibrations of lack within you, so therefore, greed and manipulation and coerciveness can come in energetically as well. If you haven't looked at all of that stuff, then if you go up, and it's actually erroneous, it's actually not a vibration that people want to align with, because energetically people can feel that it's coming from a space that has got shards in it, right? Energetic shards, or holes in gaps within the energetic alignment. So you've really got to work on yourself to really match that energy of your business, to hold that space, that value, that investment, that support, that the results that you get. If you don't get results in your business, then you should not be selling those. If you're selling results that you don't get, then you're out of energetic alignment with your business. You need to be in alignment with where you're at with your business, and you grow and your business grows at the same time. So it was really, really challenging to start with, because it was holding this space This is something that I discovered. It's not something anyone told me. No coaches shared this with me. No, no one outside of my own internal guidance brought this information to me. This is something that I've recognized within myself. That when you match the frequency of what your business is offering, the energetic alignment of your business, and you match that frequency, you're holding space, you've got boundaries, you've got this really strong, grounded energy. That's when you can come to someone with, this is what I'm offering, this is the price, right? This is the investment. These are the results that you have the potential to have if you're ready to commit to yourself and to step into that highest part of yourself, whatever your business is. So when I recognize that letting people in for free, doing prices that were really, really cheap for the value that they were getting, giving a course, for lifetime access. Now I still do that to a certain degree, depending on my Awaken the Lioness. Once you pay for Awaken the Lioness, which is my very first 12-week online course, you have lifetime access to that, right? There's still, when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about being mean and nasty. I'm talking about being energetically aligned to what your business is offering and serving people. So with that, I give that, that's lifetime access. You can take your time. I actually went to Mind Body Spirit Festival, it must be about a month ago now, and there was a woman that came up to me and said that she had got Awaken the Lioness from the last one a year ago, and she had just gone back in because she felt she needed the information again, right? So she'd just gone back in to have a look at, in that course we talk about how to speak your truth. We talk about chakras intensively, the shadow side of the chakras as well. We talk about boundaries. We talk about finding who you are. Who are you in your personal space? What's your gem? What's your love language? We do a lot of journal work. We look and reflect on what is it that you want to align with? What is it that you're supporting yourself to find? Where are you in? What triggers you? All of those things, right? So it's a personal deep dive into your energetic space, your own energetic space, and it supports you to recognize where you're at. And it's a nice, beautiful stepping stone into Conscious Creation, which is my Conscious Creator Mastermind, which is my second course that I've ever run. It's an ongoing, evergreen, jump in whenever you want course that goes for 12 months. And that's, once you know yourself, is all about then creating your reality and being in alignment with yourself and others, right? It's really, really interesting when you hold space for yourself, when you hold boundaries, when you speak your truth and you align with your business, the energy of your business. And when you're in business, when you've got that hat on, you are speaking as a representation of that business, right? So when you're in that space, who are you serving? Who are the people? Who is your ideal client? Whether you're in business, in any business, you need to have an ideal client, someone that you know will really resonate to your product or service, right? That knows that this is the next step for them. You need to have an awareness of who that is, because you need to have that energetic alignment to be calling those people in, supporting those people. There's billions of people on the planet. You need to pinpoint who it is. You need to focus on who you're serving, right? What does your business do? What is it? How does it serve? And then you need to find that alignment. You've got to find that alignment with your business and be aware of all of the old patterns that are getting in the way. Because when you align with your business, this is where divine wisdom, intuition, and developing your intuitive nature really serves business people. It's the new, I was just on the Quiet Rebellion Summit that my beautiful mentor Casey Lightbody had on. It was an amazing, amazing summit. And I was on one of the panels, and they were talking about how the old way of doing things is no longer, is redundant, right? It's no longer working. That whole, push, masculine energy, aggression, attack, all of those things, the greed and the just, overwhelm and running on adrenaline, all of that sort of energy doesn't work anymore. People are seeing that that doesn't serve them. It causes a lot of dis-ease, not only in our bodies as business owners, but also in our clients if we're, if we're matching, those clients are matching us. That doesn't work. And so also, being airy and free-flowing and having no structure and no boundaries, that doesn't work either, right? That aligns to when you're in that flow, there often isn't the energy to come in and hold boundaries and hold structure. When you're in that flow of just in the feminine energy, it actually doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve your clients either, right? There's no, it's limitless, and so therefore it's very wobbly, right? However, bringing the two in together, being in alignment with your masculine, in alignment with your feminine, and intuitively being guided by the energetics of your business, that's when things really start to form. When you have the energetic openness and allowance and magnetic attraction to the people that you're serving, to really know who that is, calling them in, the masculine energy of structure, support, being able to share the knowledge of what it is that you're doing to serve them. When you've got all of those things, being able to come back and hold space again, listen to what your clients need. When you've got, listen, be present, be open, listen from your heart, and then come back in with your masculine and step forward into what it is that you've got to offer them, how to serve them again, coaching, product, service, whatever it might be. It's this beautiful energy going backwards and forwards, right? So when I recognized that by serving everyone and holding space and allowing people to come in for free or really, really cheap, I've got to tell you some of the things I've done in service to others did not serve my business or me or my desired end result. Because I know that my end result is to serve as many women as possible and men, but at the moment my focus is on women, to serve as many women as possible to wake up to their divine wisdom, to their higher self, which I call the superconscious, to be creators, to step into their empowered space, to let go of their limitations, their lack, to realize that they're not broken, that they actually have this real magic within, that we have been conditioned to forget, conditioned to suppress, conditioned to hold tight. And it's now time for us to open that up again and to share our magic and to change this world, to raise the vibration of the planet and to move into that alignment, so that we all recognize that we're creating this together and we can actually create a beautiful place instead of all the crap that's happening at the moment. That's my mission. And if I know I'm only one of thousands of people that are doing the same. However, to be in my frequency, to hold myself, to be in my contract that I created for myself when I first came down, right, of raising the vibration of the planet, I cannot do that when I'm in my limitation and lack and hooking into other people's lack as well. So it's really, really interesting that you've got to stand in your masculine and sometimes say no. This is the way it is. No, I can't. You've just had 3 months in a better course. Really cheap. No, it finishes today. You don't get access after that. Right? That was a decision that I had to make. I had to make a boundary. It was to hold space for my value, for my investment, for the business's investment, I'm holding space for those women. Right? I'm holding space. Step up and be the best you possibly can. Because when you lower yourself, the value lowers as well. The investment lowers as well. The commitment lowers as well. So it's really, really important to hold that space, to live in that vibration, to be aware of what's coming up, to shift that needle, to take action. Because if I'm going to change thousands of people's lives, I need to raise my vibration to that frequency. And that's what I'm saying to you as well. What is it that you have to serve? What's your product? What's your service? What is it that you have in your life? What's your business alignment? And are you aligning with that? Are you aligning with that energy? Reach out if you're not and you want to know how. Because if you're struggling with what's going on the planet, you're listening to the collective that's still in limitation. So that's my 2 cents on a public holiday. I hope you enjoyed. Would love to get your feedback in the comments. Press #replay if you're watching the replay, and enjoy the rest of your day.